Northwestern, the 3-game winning streak came to an end last night, and it happens because it was their 4th game in 8 days. Let's talk about it.
You are Locked On Northwestern, your daily podcast on the Northwestern Wildcats, part of the Locked On Podcast Network, your team every day.
Hey, everybody, and welcome in. This is Locked On Northwestern, part of the Locked On Podcast Network, your team every day. We appreciate you tuning in and making Locked On Northwestern your first listen every single day. We're available wherever you get podcasts, Apple Podcasts, Spotify, wherever you can find us. And we're also on YouTube. Just search Locked On Northwestern. You can find us there. Wherever you're listening, make sure you're subscribed and you turn on notifications. You don't want to miss an episode as we continue to pump out content. Very basketball heavy right now, given the 6 games in 13 days stretch that Northwestern's in the middle of right now. Today's show is also brought to you by the FanDuel Sportsbook, the official sportsbook of Locked On. Make every moment more with FanDuel. Visit FanDuel.com/lockedon today to get started. All right, so Northwestern last night went on the road against Iowa. It was a great opportunity for them on the road against a top 40 team in the KenPom and in the net rankings. A very, very explosive Iowa team on offense. Number 7 in the KenPom in offensive efficiency, had hit something like 60 or 70 free throws more than their opponents had attempted this year. They were a very good offensive team, led the Big Ten in offense, I do believe, going against a very good defensive team in Northwestern, number 22 in defensive efficiency. It was Northwestern's 4th game in 8 days. In this stretch where coming off that 8-day COVID pause, and that's going to continue to be a storyline because no team in the country is going through what Northwestern is going through right now. And so you look at it and there's this fatigue factor that nobody else is going through because it's a grind right now. And you combine that with some of the other, I guess, concerns. I mean, obviously Northwestern's legs, the depth is a concern because of how many games they have played in the last week and a day, with Julian Roper still out with his ankle injury. Just a lot of reasons for you not to expect Northwestern to win this game. And they're 6.5-point underdogs in this game last night. I think people were counting them out. And it makes sense, I guess. I do think that this was a battle between two very good teams. The positives coming in, you obviously have the 3-game winning streak with the 66-63 victory over Wisconsin, and then you had the back-to-back wins against Nebraska on the road and against Minnesota at home, as you really kind of flexed your muscles there and got a couple 15-point victories that Northwestern hasn't had in an extremely long time. It was great to see this Northwestern team playing good ball with those previous 2 wins. With the you had 78-63 at Nebraska, 81 to 61 against Minnesota. The team was playing a just more cohesive brand of basketball. The ball movement was a lot better. The half-court sets were really good. It frustrated me at first coming out of the COVID pause, but I now understand, having watched this team a lot more. It felt like Northwestern would take up 9 of the 10 seconds getting the ball across half court, but Boo Buie was using that time to let his guys catch a breath, take their time, not get worn out. They were shooting the ball better over this stretch as well. They'd shot it well from 3. They'd done pretty well from 2 as well. They continue to shoot the free throw pretty well for the most part, with kind of Matt Nicholson being the anchor of the group. They got, I believe it was 3 of the top 4 free throw shooting players in the conference. I think this game may have had all 4, according to the broadcast last night. And another positive that we saw kind of coming in was the emergence of Nick Martinelli, the freshman who had barely had any playing time until Julian Roper went out, continues to kind of give these quality minutes off the bench, and it's not a drastic drop off when he's on the court. It's like finding a walk-on or just adding a scholarship player out of nowhere in the middle of the season when you absolutely have to have it with the way he was playing. And it was great. As a true freshman, kind of a bigger guy, has a nice little shot. His little pull up jump shots on the baseline have been pretty lethal so far in this little run that he has had. Storylines coming in. Northwestern had lost 8 in a row in this matchup. 4th game in 8 days, obviously. Northwestern got routed against Iowa last time out, 112-76 in the Big Ten tournament last year. They've never won at the Carver Hawkeye Arena under Chris Collins, and they have not won since 2017 in this matchup. And then, of course, last night was the game that was honoring Chris Stewart, and that was a big storyline coming in. There was the documentary special after the game on the Big Ten Network, just extra kind of emotional energy in the arena in Iowa's favor. Kind of all of those things set up what was a really good matchup between two teams. Maybe not the best matchups in terms of style of play for Northwestern, but it promised to be a pretty good game. Your only concern for me really was, how does Northwestern stack up depth-wise? How does the fatigue factor play in? And I think we saw that play out over the course of this game. And we'll talk about how this game played out here in a second. But first, we got to talk about our friends at FanDuel. This year, the only app you need at your Super Bowl party is FanDuel, America's #1 sports book. We're really excited about our new sports betting partner for Locked On, because it's the #1 sports book in America, FanDuel. And if you're new to FanDuel, that's even better. They have so many great features that make betting on sports fun and easy. Download FanDuel now so you can bet on Super Bowl 57 with a no-sweat first bet. You'll get up to $3,000 in bonus bets if your first bet doesn't win. FanDuel lets you bet on everything from money line to point spreads to who will score a touchdown. And in that Super Bowl, I think I kind of like the under. I feel like defenses, given the 2 weeks, come up with pretty good game plans for low-scoring Super Bowls. We've seen that here somewhat recently, a few times out. But I think if you're going to bet touchdowns, Travis Kelce, pretty good option. Jalen Hurts, running the ball, I think that's a pretty good option. Yeah, I think that those would be my 2, maybe Isaiah Pacheco, because I feel like he's just so much better than the other backs that the Chiefs have. The FanDuel Sportsbook app is safe, secure, and super easy to use. Best of all, you can get paid your winnings instantly. So join FanDuel today at FanDuel.com/lockedon to claim your no-sweat first bet on Super Bowl 57. That's FanDuel.com/lockedon. Make every moment more with FanDuel, the official sportsbook partner of the NFL. Also, thank you for making Locked On Northwestern your first listen every single day. But also, Locked On is heading to the Senior Bowl. Get inside analysis from the host that covered the NFL's next generation in college, and find out which NFL draft boards these players will be climbing. All in one location. Subscribe to Locked On NFL Draft for nightly live shows from the Senior Bowl on Tuesday, Wednesday, and Thursday at 9 p.m. Central Time. So there's 2 more of those shows this week. Be on the lookout for that. And yeah, we're going to talk about this game, how it started to play out for Northwestern. Really great opportunity, obviously. And, Northwestern actually got off to a pretty good start. I was pretty encouraged by it. Nick Martinelli had his most productive half by far, scoring 9 points. Northwestern forced a lot of turnovers there early, really made that Iowa team uncomfortable. And you saw Northwestern build a 9-point lead. And I love the energy that they showed early on the road, kind of making sure that they didn't dig that hole, because especially with the fatigue factor that this Northwestern team has to be going through, digging a hole makes it impossible to compete. There was that nasty, nasty lob from Boo Buie to Chase Audige for the one-handed alley-oop. That really, I think, was a momentum play. Northwestern started to really feel good in that first half, but they're late, and in the late going of the first half, Iowa got crazy hot from 3. They come back, they tie it up at 39, and I had to tweet about it. I was like, "Oh man, it felt like Northwestern was the better team in the first half. Felt like they outplayed them, but that hurts. The way that I was able to like that come back, tie up the game at 39, you had to be very concerned, because you know that watching Northwestern play these last 3 games, they've looked a lot better in the first half. Second half, they still played well, but you do see them kind of taper off. So you didn't feel good. I mean, Iowa goes 5 of 10 from 3 in the first half, and they continue to play good basketball. They won the rebounding battle in the first half, I do believe. In the second half, I mean, it was really the Iowa show. They shot 53.6% from the floor in the second half. Actually, that is down from 58.3% in the first half. It was unfortunate that we saw this Iowa team shoot so well, because it just made life so difficult on Northwestern. They're 5 of 11 from 3 in the second half, 45.5%. That's down from 5 for 10 in the first half, right at 50%. Second half, they're 12 of 13 from the free throw line, 92.3%. You had Peyton Sanford. He went off for 14 points in the half, and he was really efficient in the process. 5 of 7 from the field, or 4 of 5 from the field, 3 of 4 from 3, and 3 for 3 at the free throw line. He hit an and 1 3 where Matt Nicholson fouled him, where I don't know how the ball went in, but I mean, you got to tip your cap to him and say, what a shot. Dumb foul by Nicholson. And there were just a few moments like that for Northwestern where some bad possessions, some bad shots, some poor fouls set them up to not exactly have a great second half there. Philip Rebracha, he went for 12 in the second half and 8 rebounds, 5-7 from the field, 2 of 2 at the free throw line. Boo Buie was really the only consistent player on offense for Northwestern in that second half. He had 14 points. He was 5 of 8 from the field, 1 of 4 from 3, 3 of 3 at the free throw line. His threes are still bad. I believe, based on the stats given during the game, he's 12 for his last 49 from 3. And he didn't get to the free throw line as much as we've seen from him in some other games. That would have certainly helped. I mean, he was good from the line for the entire game, 7 of 7. But the rest of the team did not really get to the line as much as you would have liked as well. I thought Brooks Barnheiser did not shoot particularly well for the game. He was better in the second half, but I thought he gave you great effort. On the defensive end, a couple offensive rebounds, getting second chance opportunities at the rim, passing the basketball. Just on the defensive end, I thought he gave you tremendous effort. Something that stuck out to me in that second half is Ty Berry had 0 shots. 0 shots. He only had, 3 shots for the game, I believe? No, he had 6 shots for the game. He made 3 of them. But he, for the guy who was as red hot as could be, a week ago? Why is he not shooting the ball more? Less than a week ago, actually, with this condensed timeline. Why is he not getting more looks? You could say the same thing for Robbie Barron, guys like that just did not really get opportunities. And you watch that second half, and Chase Hawkeyes is inefficient, but there's no other options on the offensive end in that second half. It was Boo Booey, it was Chase Hawkeyes, and that was about it. Matt Nicholson got dominated in the second half. You saw Rebraca just absolutely kind of dominate him. Not his best game by any stretch. The efficiency on offense is fine. Not a lot of shots. But you just watching the game, he was leaving guys open, getting beat on the bounce. Just not his best game, especially in that second half. You get outscored in the second half 47-31, and you lose the game 86-70. Not a pretty game for Northwestern in the second half. I thought the first half you saw a Northwestern team that was prepared, ready to play, and very much played their game. I thought I was very happy with that. Second half, not as much. I think we can talk about that in the takeaways here in just a second. But first, let's talk about our friends from Built Bar. Look, if you're looking for a delicious treat out there but don't want all the fat and calories, then you got to try a Built Bar. We just got through the holidays in the past month or so. And look, I know my goal is to eat healthier this year. I think I'm doing a pretty good job so far. If you're like me and you want to eat healthier, but you don't want to compromise taste, then look, you've just got to try Built. With Built, healthy is actually tasty. Seriously, they're so delicious. You won't think they're good for you, but they are, and they're perfect for your New Year's resolution. What makes Built so good? Well, for starters, they're covered in 100% real chocolate. That's right, 100% real chocolate. And they come in unbelievable flavors like churro, peanut butter brownie, chocolate almond. And look, I'm not sure exactly how they do it, but they taste like a candy bar while maintaining amazing macros. What's even better is that they're healthy. I mean, only 130 calories, 4 grams of sugar, and a whopping 17 grams of protein. And now you don't need to wait around to get a box. For years, we've been talking about ordering your Built Bars at Built.com. Now you can get them at your local Walmart or Sam's Club. That's right. Head to your nearest Walmart today, walk to the pharmacy section, and grab yourself a box of Built Bars. You can pick up a 4-bar box of cookies and cream, double chocolate, or coconut puffs. If you're at Sam's Club, run in and grab a 13-bar box with our hit flavors, brownie batter, and churro. You can thank me later. Make sure you check out those Built Bars. Also, thank you for making Locked On Northwestern your first listen today. For your second listen, check out our brand new podcast, Locked On College Basketball. Experts Isaac Shade and Andy Patton bring you everything you need to know on and off the court. Plus, hear from big-name experts, coaches, and players throughout the basketball landscape. Locked On College Basketball, available on YouTube and wherever you get your podcasts. All right. Look, talking about this game, there's some takeaways. Look, it's impossible to stop. It's impossible to beat this Iowa team when they're that hot. They shot 29 of 52 for the game, 55.8%. That's insane. They were 10 of 21 from 3, 47.6%. You're not going to win games like that. They were 18 of 22 at the free throw line. Northwestern only shot 14 free throws. So they continued to stretch that margin of free throws made over free throws attempted by their opponents. Northwestern did hit 12 of their 14 for 85.7%. 5 Iowa players were in double figures. Rebraca, Sanford, Murray, Perkins, and McCaffrey all got to double digits. Rebraca and Sanford both had 20. I think Murray had 16. I think Perkins may have had 12 and McCaffrey 11. McCaffrey hit a stupid deep three once or twice in that game. It was frustrating to watch, to be honest with you. Rebraca absolutely dominated Nicholson, he had 20 points, 10 rebounds, 4 assists, 1 block. He did have 3 turnovers, but he was 9 of 13 from the field, 2 of 2 at the line. Nicholson, 5 points, 5 rebounds, 1 assist, 1 steal, 1 turnover. 2 of 2 from the field, 1 of 2 at the line. I mean, he's 7 foot, 250 pounds. You need more. You need more. You really do in a matchup like that where he does have the size on him. I know that Rebraca is experienced and he's skilled and he's a really good player, but you need Nicholson to be better in that matchup. Northwestern only had 2 players in double figures for the entire game. That was Hawkeyes and Bowie. Bowie had 20, I believe. Hawkeyes had 16. No, he had 15. But I mean, look, when they have 5 guys scoring in double figures and you only have 2, things probably aren't going well for your team. Honestly, you need more shots, more looks for Barry, for Martinelli, who was pretty efficient with his looks early, didn't really get any looks in the second half. Barron's got to get going. I thought Verhoeven played well. Generally, he's kind of an afterthought for this Northwestern team. He gave you 4 points, 5 rebounds, 1 assist, and 4 blocks. And honestly, one of his better games of the season. 4 of 17 is not going to be good enough going against a team shooting as well as this Iowa team. I mean, that's just not very good at all. I mean, Barron, Barry, Bowie, Barnheiser, and Hawkeyes, who have been your best three-point shooters this year, especially with Roper out. Roper's another addition to that group. But those guys combined for 3 of 16 from 3 in this game. That is 18.8%. That is killer in a game like this. You got out-rebounded 33-24. Just another thing to add there. I think fatigue factored in heavily late in this game. It was not going Northwestern's way. And, I think that it all played a role into it. Your KenPom, your net rankings after this game wrapped up with the 86-70 loss at Iowa. You get knocked down to 52 in the KenPom. You get knocked down to 49 in the net rankings. Next up, you're at home against Michigan at 6 p.m. on Thursday on ESPN2. Big matchup there because I thought Northwestern could have won that game on the road. You're at home. Fatigue's going to continue to be a factor. But I hope that the crowd, I hope that the environment can give Northwestern enough energy to pull off that upset. A Michigan team that kind of got destroyed over the weekend, I think, by Penn State. Something to keep an eye on for sure. But that's going to do it for today's episode. Appreciate you tuning in. Thank you for making Locked On Northwestern your first listen every single day. We're available wherever you get podcasts, Apple Podcasts, Spotify, wherever. We're also on YouTube. Just search Locked On Northwestern. You can find us there. Wherever you're listening, make sure you are subscribed and you turn on notifications. You don't want to miss an episode. We're going to continue to cover this crazy run by Northwestern in these 6 games in 13 days. As they are now on the back third of it through 4 games, 3-1 so far. We're going to continue to cover that. I'm your host, Carter Bird. Appreciate you tuning in. You can follow me on social media at CarterBird13. And I'll see you all next time.